Welcome to this clip on de minimis aid. After watching this video, you should be able to explain the concept and rationale of de minimis regulations and discuss the logic and main practical steps regarding the implementation of de minimis aid. As mentioned in the previous clip, not every new state aid measure within the meaning of Article 107.1 TFEU must be notified to the Commission. There are two important derogations from the notification obligation and consequently the standstill obligation: the exemption regulations and the de minimis regulations. The previous clip already focused on the exemption regulations. This clip is dedicated to de minimis aid. The Commission adopted several de minimis regulations setting out that if an aid amount does not exceed the specific de minimis threshold, the measure does not qualify as state aid within the meaning of Article 107.1 TFEU. Given the low amount of this aid, de minimis aid is assumed not to distort competition and not to affect trade between EU member states. Consequently, this aid can be granted without notification to and approval by the Commission. The de minimis regulation that was most used until December 31st, 2023 was de minimis regulation 1407 of 2013. This regulation stipulated that aid measures of which the aid amount was less than 200,000 euros per undertaking during 3 fiscal years were not considered to distort competition and affect trade between member states. In other words, if the aid amount of a support measure remained below this threshold, it did not constitute state aid within the meaning of Article 107, Paragraph 1 TFEU. On December 13, 2023, the Commission adopted a new de minimis regulation, being de minimis regulation 2023-2381. This increased the general de minimis threshold to 300,000 euro and is applicable to all aid granted from 1st of January 2024. Both regulations remain important as the Commission has the authority to order the recovery of state aid granted up to 10 years. In addition, the Commission has adopted various sectoral de minimis regulations, such as the ones on agriculture, on fisheries, and on the compensation for services of general and economic interest. The implementation of de minimis aid is still subject to a set of important formalities. The granting member state must inform the beneficiary in writing of the amount of granted aid and of the fact that the aid constitutes de minimis aid. Before granting de minimis aid, the member state must obtain a declaration from the beneficiary about any de minimis aid it already received during the previous 2 fiscal years and the current fiscal year. This has to do with the fact that the de minimis threshold is calculated over 3 fiscal years. The member state must maintain detailed records on de minimis aid granted for 10 fiscal years from the granting of the aid, and from January 1st, 2026, member states must ensure that information on de minimis aid granted is registered in a central register at national or union level, and this within 20 working days following the disbursement. De minimis aid can be cumulated with other de minimis aid if the aid received by an undertaking does not exceed the applicable de minimis threshold. If an undertaking has already received de minimis aid and received additional aid leading to the accessing of the applicable de minimis threshold, the last aid measure will entirely not be considered as de minimis aid. In summary, de minimis regulations entail thresholds below which a measure does not constitute state aid within the meaning of Article 107, Paragraph 1 TFEU, as they are deemed not to distort competition or affect trade between member states. The measures can be implemented without notification, but several information obligations remain for the member states. This brings us to the end of the clip on de minimis aid. Thank you for your interest and attention.